Hello there and welcome to join us on yet another interesting segment of the newspaper review right here on TAP TV for today, the 5th day of July 2022. Well, it is another beautiful and very rainy Tuesday morning out here in the city of Port Harcourt. Mr. Victor, don't you think the rains are becoming too much these days?
Yes, but it's season, so it has to rain because farmers need to work.
It's the season, but come on, the rain needs to give us a break. I mean, come on. I almost got drenched on my way to work today.
My brother, in some climes, they are praying for this kind of rain. So let's all count it all joy. There's time for everything, so this is time to the rain to drop. Yeah.
But please, there's time for everything, but the rain should please, forgive us for a while and stop. Thank you. Okay, before we go straight to the business of the day, we'll be giving you the headlines in the papers for today. We'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll take you straight to our business for today. Do stay tuned.
Have you registered for your permanent voter's card? I mean, your PVC. There is a Nigeria we all seek, a place where love, peace, security, and unity can reign supreme.
Waste no time. We want a country where peace and justice will be the order of the day.
Unfortunately, there's a problem. One big challenge this generation has to solve.
Our country cries for help every day. We need able and capable hands to lead and direct.
These capable hands can be you. Have you gotten your PVC? Have you registered for the ongoing voting process? Don't say your vote does not count. Yes, it does.
Have you gotten your PVC? Your apathy towards Nigeria's electioneering process will further inhibit our collective growth and development as a nation. Your refusal to participate and engage will keep us at a standstill. So be intentional.
I have my PVC. Your votes, your voice would go a long way in preventing absolute destruction of this country and the future of our children, the hope of tomorrow.
The 2023 Nigerian elections are just around the corner. Go out and get heard. Don't forget, your vote, your voice.
This message is proudly brought to you by THAV Media Limited. You're very much welcome back to join us from that short break. And I'm taking you straight now to our business of the day. The first paper we shall be looking at is The Nation. And amongst the headlines in The Nation, we have here, Inside Ondo Believers Church. That's on page 2. Inside Ondo Believers Church. That's on page 2 of The Nation. You can get all the details on that particular headlines in The Nation. And next on page 4 we have Akeredolu okays self-defense. Akeredolu okays self-defense on page 4 of The Nation. And on page 7 we have MMA runway to be shot. MMA runway to be shot. That's on page 7. And on the next headline here we have Wike's camp gives Ayu must go condition to back Atiku. Wike's camp gives Ayu must go condition to back Atiku. Okay. And lastly, in The Nation, we have Zenith Bank is Nigeria's best at World Finance Awards. That's on page 7 of The Nation. Okay, before we move straight to our next paper for today, Mr. Victor, I don't know which of the headlines interest you to talk about.
Okay, Ondo seems to be the big news for me.
Okay.
Because of what's coming out of the church. Last week we got the information that some group of children and teenagers were found at the basement of a church. Okay, the news came out, and when I got the news first, I was like, man, this is real kidnap. But along the line, the pastor came out to say that no, these are his congregation, that they love coming to church, they like staying in the church, leaving their parents to come to the church, and they sleep over. So the question now becomes, for me, I ask the question, is it that these parents will just allow their children
Kids.
sometimes a week, 2 weeks, 1 month? So there are details in the information now that a particular young man in the universities, he left at 200 level to go be, left his studies to go be with the pastor in the church. So can you see?
There's something the pastor is not telling us.
A mother even went to the extent of going to the court to charge the pastor because her kids refused to come home. What does that tell you? For me, the pastor should be well interrogated, because I see this as a case of brainwashing your congregants.
Yes.
And I want to make some differential notions here, that when in Islam we call this kind of process or this kind of scenario as being radicalized.
Okay.
But I will also want to tell you and our listeners, our viewers, that even in Christianity there is still elements of radicalism.
Yes.
Christians nowadays get radicalized by, in quotes, some fraudulent and barbaric men of God. I am not here to judge any man of God, but it is out there in the public that most people use the guise of being men of God to perpetrate
Crimes.
different levels of crimes.
But Mr. Victor, all this shouldn't come as a surprise to us, should it? Given the word of God that said in the last days there will be false prophets will arise. So all this should not come as a surprise.
And the same pastor is known as an end time pastor. He preaches end time. Same pastor. In fact, okay, the holidays are here, and our children, you need to know where they are. That is where our society is failing. When parents they get tired, and many times due to the craze for money and the level of poverty too, they also add to all these things, because when they know that when their children go to this church, somehow they get fed. Same thing happening in the north. When it comes to the Islam religion, you find out that you see the beggars now, you see them now. At the end of the day, they still go to the mosque, get food, go back to the street. But in fact, it has really done harm in this.
So it's more like who controls your stomach controls your mind and your life.
My brother, you're on point on this. So I urge parents, please, you just have to hold your children. You don't have to push them. I'm sorry, but yes, these are not seminaries, mind you. And I know that some of these pastors, they come with the clothing, they clothe their practice by calling it a seminary or a church school. Okay, so they tend to now find a way. And where these kids? How can you have 77 children, 77 kids without their parents under your custody? You are not registered. The society does not know you as a care home.
Okay.
So
it means that there must be something fishy going on.
Absolutely, they should dig deep, please.
Yes,
they should.
So let's not dwell much on the nation. Let's move straight now to the Daily Sun, where we have on page 6. This one here says, Vice President slot. Afenifere, MBF, Islamic cleric reject Muslim tickets. Say promoters don't wish Nigeria well. Action will destroy APC. Political exigency favors it, according to Yerima. That's on page 6 of the Daily Sun. And on page 5 we have Amotekun will go after terrorists in Southwest Forest. That's according to Akeredolu on page 5. And on page 4 we have Abga praises Soludo over fight against insecurity. Abga praises Soludo over fight against insecurity. That's on page 4. And on page 2 we have Zenith emerges best global corporate governance bank on page 2. And on page 4 again we have another Catholic priest kidnapped in Kaduna. Another Catholic priest kidnapped in Kaduna. Police rescue abducted Italian priest in Edo. That's on page 4. And on page 6 we have religious ethnic intolerance, I beg your pardon. Sultan CAN Methodist bishop, others move to douse tension. That's on page 6. And lastly on page 7 we have INEC expresses worry as a sonist attack Enugu office. That's on page 7. INEC expresses worry as a sonist attack Enugu office on page 7. Okay, that's the much we can take in the Daily Sun. You want more details of those headlines you heard, do get a copy of the Daily Sun for yourself. Before we move straight now to our next and last paper for today, Mr. Victor, I don't know which of the headlines you want to talk about.
Muslim tickets from the cleric. The cleric saying that there should not be the advent of a Muslim ticket, which wants to happen with the APC.
Okay.
We still have the provision of the placeholder, in quotes, the provision of the placeholder, whereby the APC, in quotes, have a Muslim ticket. Tinubu from a Muslim, and his VP a Muslim. He's on the bench Muslim being a VP being a Muslim.
Sounds like they have a plan already. They set out plan.
Okay, now this cleric, a Muslim cleric for that matter, came out to say that it is not proper with the situation of the country. The country is divided in religious lines. Okay, so but I also want him. I would have loved him to have gone a step further by saying that after a Muslim had, by the time Buhari vacates seats, that means a Muslim has done 8 years of the time. We are not also expecting the Christian should at least be given a chance to do 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So coming out to say that the VP should be a Christian, now the Christian folks will now be like, are we going to play second fiddle?
Yes.
Becoming VPs for a total of 16 years? Are you getting that? So I think he should go a step further with that. That is my own view. Now going forward, you find out that this is a side of this news,
because it really doesn't sound fair that a Muslim is just about to finish 8 years, and then another Muslim wants to continue again. No, it should be the other way around. Maybe a Christian taking power, and then probably a Muslim playing second fiddle. I think that's how it should be done.
So, in quote, the APC candidate and the PDP candidate, we should note that they are on holiday. It is not about it to be on holiday. But my issue with these politicians is that they know the sufferings of the masses. But by the time they enter into that position, they will still be gallivanting. Now, they're on holiday. One is in Dubai, which is Atiku Abubakar. The other, Tinubu, is in France. Now, the same tourism, both in health tourism, both in relaxation, will keep happening because these persons, they have made up their mind that this country is no good. You, as a leader, should show example. If you are going for holiday, don't you have places like Calabar? Don't you have Akwa Ibom? Don't you have cool places in Taraba State? Don't you have places that you can go and have your holiday? Must you go overseas for your holiday? Now, for somebody like Atiku that has not been in the country, in fact, if you calculate from in 2019, the time he lost the election till date, he has spent from the calculations that I saw on some media, he has spent almost 2 years outside the country. So he comes in, gets ticket, he runs back for holiday. He comes back again, as in, my brother, it is so shameful of this, and they don't care. They don't care. Tomorrow, by the time, if and only if one of them gets the ticket, this will continue.
Okay.
It will continue. You will not see our leaders, our president ruling or lead, because ruling, I need to use the word ruling the nation from the diaspora.
So, Mr. Victor, do you see this sort of gesture as, should I say, an eye-opener for citizens to realize that these men may not really mean well for us?
These two persons, it is on record that they don't, in quote, live in Nigeria anymore. The Tinubu and Atiku, they do not live in Nigeria anymore, as far as I'm concerned. When it's time for campaigns, now you see them, they come back. Now they will be telling you they are going for this consult. Who are you consulting overseas?
Okay.
Who are you consulting overseas? So, well, it is left for the voters, okay, to make their choice. So going forward, we should note that INEC mentioned about arsenal on the paper in Enugu. We should note that come 2023, just like we have the terrorist side and the bandits that do not want election to happen in 2023, we still have elements in the southeast that are pressing on that elections will not hold. There are still people in the southeast that are not happy that young persons, first time voters, are going out to get their PVCs. And I urge, well, it seems that our governors in the southeast, they are helpless and helpless. But I urge them, please, and the security agents, to please protect these INEC centers. Because in the mind of an average youth today wants to go out and vote for his or her leader come 2023. So please, the security agents and the powers that be should please help us and guide our INEC centers.
All right, let's move straight now to our next and last paper for today, which is the Vanguard. And headlines here in the Vanguard says, this one here says, VP slot, Vice President slot, APC at crossroads over Muslim ticket. That's on page 5. Okay, we just talked about that in the previous paper. And on page 12, we have tension as headers seize part of Delta community. Tension as headers seize part of Delta community. That's on page 12 of the Vanguard. And next, on page 6, we have gunmen kill 10 in Zamfara, Sokoto, Ondo communities as bandits abduct Catholic priest in Kaduna. And on page 9, we have Nigeria has no policy that violates religious freedom. Federal government tells U.S. senators. Okay, on page 13, we have killings. Niger suspends mining activities in state. That's on page 13. And on page 19, we have World Finance rates Zenith Bank best commercial bank in Nigeria. Okay, and on page 29, we have PDP running mate. Despite pressure, Atiku vows to stick with Okowa. And lastly, we have here on page 8, this one here says, energy crisis, fuel shortage persists as inadequate supply haunts operators. Energy crisis, fuel shortage persists as inadequate supply haunts operators. Okay, that's on page 8. You want more details of those headlines you just heard? Do get a copy of the Vanguard for yourself. Okay, Mr. Victor, before we call it a day, which of the headlines you want to talk about?
Please, let me finish with the religious part I've been told. Okay, now in Delta State, there are tensions in a Delta community called Okpanam in Oshimili North local government. Actually, that's where I'm from. Now, the tension has been there that Fulani Herdsmen has invaded some areas of Okpanam communities, precisely Obodoba community inside Okpanam town. Now, what has happened? About 300 Fulani Herdsmen came one night and took possession, in quotes, took possession of the area, and they have refused to leave. Let me ask you, if you want to live in an area, won't you meet the landlord and tell them, I want to rent this space? Why would it be that a group of persons will come, even if it's not Fulani Herdsmen? Why would a group of persons come in somebody's property, on somebody's farmland, and say that he wants to pitch tent and stay there? In fact, in some cases,
By force.
they go into people's buildings, both uncompleted. They go into people's building and take charge and start living there.
It's very improper.
Very improper, my brother. The community has used different means, in terms of pleading with them, please leave us alone, go. They've invited the police. They invited the local government chairman. He's the Ugani of Okpanam, who happens to be His Royal Majesty Michael Obulu, came out to say the government should please carry these people and go. If they want to live in our community, they should leave our farmlands, come into the city, come and rent a space and live. Leave our bushes, because in 2020,
yes,
because in 2020 there were very high rates of criminality in our bushes.
Spells danger.
Kidnapping,
yes,
happen. I'm not saying that they are the ones that kidnap, but in many cases
it could be.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not certain.
Yes,
in as much as some persons came out and said that there was even rape incidents that happened in our farmland. That our women will come out to farm and they get raped. Okay, now they are saying that please carry yourself and come to the city. Leave our farmlands for the owners and houses, uncompleted houses in our less dense areas. Come inside and rent spaces if you want to live. If you want to live amongst us, we are not pursuing you, but come and rent the space. Come into the city and rent the space. Okay. Unfortunately and unfortunately for the Commissioner of Information, he came out to say that the state government is not aware of what is happening. My brother,
wow,
they've written to them, they've made several announcements, and the commissioner is saying that he's not aware that in fact in Nigeria we are a diverse nation, supposed to live together. My brother, that's to also tell you, everybody, they are also dodging some questions from that will hit them like a bullet. Now the governor himself, I know he's defending the governor by saying that they are not aware, because mind you, the governor is a VP candidate. Okay, so he has to also play safe so that he can appease one side of the divide.
But Mr. Victor, just like you said, even if these herders actually want to, start staying with the indigenes of Delta community, there's a way to go about it. They could actually come and say, okay, this is what we want to do, and then there are procedures these people could actually take to ensure that whatever they're doing is legalized. But the way they're going about it, I don't think they should be surprised with whatever reaction they're getting from people at the moment, because these are the sort of things only a criminal would do, or someone who doesn't mean well would do. Because you just come into someone's property, you start staying there. Who does that? Like, if you can you just go to the north and then pack your bag and stay in someone's property without telling the person? Let's be reasonable. So it's actually very unfair. And before now, there have been some talks of some persons saying that the Muslims actually see this country like as their own country, like excluding other tribes. So, given such an action currently, do you think it actually adds to the truism of that statement?
It is yes. I know that it is not all Muslims. It is just a fraction too, but the fraction is increasing day by day. Okay. Look at what is even happening in Edo State. the way that Fulani Herdsmen, reportedly that Fulani Herdsmen have been kidnapping Catholic priests. My brother, do you know that for the last 5 years, it's been recorded that about 500 Christians and clerics and priests have been abducted. Now, what even increased it nowadays, if you check, was when the prelate of the Methodist Church was kidnapped in Abia State in May, and he paid 100 million naira within 24 hours. Mind you, the craze has gone so high, they've now become targets by Fulani Herdsmen. We cannot shy away from that, because even in his testimony, the prelate's testimony, this person, we are Fulani Herdsmen. So what does he also tell to other communities? It causes care. It causes care. So in my community right now in Okpanam, there's big scare. In fact, the youth, some of the youth have not taken laws into their hands to go and attack them. Okay? Thank God for that.
But if that happens currently, would you actually blame the youth for doing that?
No, I will blame them, please. I don't want any chaos. I really do not want any chaos.
You don't want any chaos?
No.
Haven't there been chaos before now? Or is there chaos already?
No. It will cause some, because in Delta State there is a whole lot of, not that the Muslim community do not stay with Deltans. If you go to Asaba, there are a whole lot of them. There are trailer parks and all that. Okay? But I do not want, now, I also like the way the Royal Majesty is taking care of the situation. He has given 2 weeks notice that please, if you must stay in Okpanam, come inside, rent a space and live within us. But you cannot go to our bushes, you cannot go to our farmlands, to uncompleted buildings, and just move in there and start staying.
Like criminal.
Start staying, you can't do that.
It's absurd, it's out of it.
You can't claim people's properties. They are not yours.
Out
People labor so hard to get these properties.
And I'm so sure that if it were to be in the north, probably someone from the south or anywhere goes to do this in the north, I'm so sure that they won't take it like it would happen.
No, and as it stands right now, they are even harvesting people's crops. As it stands right now.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? The country is already in chaos. The country is already in chaos.
So please, just briefly, let's talk about Wike. Wike is a man that is, for right now, he seems like a man crying. Okay, he has, in quotes, to my own understanding, he has lost national powers. And mind you, Wike has been somebody that has been pushing for this national power. You know, he likes to use the word power, so I need to use the word power.
He's a man of power
in his own case. And from all indication, his group knows the chairman of the party, Senator Iyorchia Ayu, to resign, vacate his position, because there is a statement the chairman also made. You know, the chairman in quote is against him from all the look of things. Even when he lost the primary, the chairman went to congratulate Tambuwa that caused the divide that happened. Okay. Even when the delegates that were appointed by the party and an article, the delegates that were appointed to choose the VP for the party, the delegate chose Wike. 14 out of 17 chose Wike. And the party chairman plus Atiku discarded the list, and they went on to appoint a governor of Delta State, Okowa, to become a VP candidate. You find out that there is now a big divide, a big disunity between Wike and Ayu himself. So they are now clamoring that Ayu should vacate his seat. Also, we should also notice that this is so painful for person of Wike, because mind you, in 2019, before the 2019 election, he really funded the PDP. In fact, same thing I was telling you, that these candidates, they stay in the abroad. They stay in the abroad, and when it's time for election, they come back. Same thing happened during 2019, that Atiku was in the abroad, and Wike was spending the money and grooming the party, so until he came and took over.
So you think that explains why some people say these politicians actually do not really understand the feeling of the masses? Because
No.
They don't
No,
know.
it's about their interest now. Even with everybody, it's their personal interest now.
Yes.
It's about personal interest. Now it's also personal interest that he did not get the VPs, so he's not feeling happy.
So,
even when he went to
know
Turkey
about
for-
their personal interest, don't you think it's actually absurd for someone who already knows that these politicians really do not care about them to actually collect bribe and vote for them?
No, they do not care.
To
If you go
stay in
the
office
details,
for another 8 years.
No, they do not care. If you go to the details, you find out that these guys do not really care about the masses. They just want that CV. They want the CV. They want that power. Okay. So, well, I wish him good luck as he stands. I just don't know how he's gonna manage things out, because Atiku has shown that I cannot work with you. So I don't know how they want to form this coalition. It is well spelled out since 1999. In fact, even since 2019, even before the primaries in 2019, you found out that Atiku wanted the primaries to be held in Abuja. Wike brought the primaries to Port Harcourt. Then Atiku won Wike because Wike was supporting Tambuwa. All of a sudden, Atiku and Tambuwa formed an alliance, which made Tambuwa to step down for Atiku. So you find out that in the mind of Wike is, I see him as a devastated man when it comes to Nigeria, the national politics. But some persons are saying he will leave the party. I don't see him leaving the party because he has made his point too in the party. Okay, what happens with the states, which you know that he wants to become a godfather in the states, when he has also chosen somebody that will seed him.
He's seen as the face of PDP right now. So leaving the party,
Tough call.
yes, it's
Tough
actually
call.
a tough one for him.
Tough call.
Okay, Mr. Victor, let's call it a day right now. And I think all this actually stresses the need for us Nigerians to go out and get our PVCs and make sure that we vote the right persons who we believe can take the country from where it is currently to where it ought to be come 2023. Thank you so much for sticking there. For you who has been watching us, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Without you, we would not be here. But unfortunately, this is where we have to call it a wrap on the show for today. And don't forget, you can also be a part of this discussion. You have some questions to ask, some suggestions to make. Drop them in the comment section of any of our social media platforms, and you can also visit www.thavmedia.com for your latest information and news every day, okay, to get more details on some headlines. My name is Cyril Aloysius, and please do not forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. On YouTube, we are Tav TV. On Instagram, we are Tav TV_NG. On Facebook, we are Tav TV. And on Twitter, we are Tav TV. This is where we have to call it a day. Bye-bye for now. My name remains Cyril Aloysius.